Listen, let me get to this next topic. Do podcasts kind of like
Hmm.
make men and or social media, I should say, do they make men and women despise each other? Because I'll give you an
Yes.
example, right? I had a follower, subscriber, DM us, and it was like, you know what, I got to take a break from listening to your content because it's really starting to make me despise black women. Like he was very vocal about it. He was like, yo, because a lot of the women that we have, they present in one way or they, you know what I mean? And it's kind of a turn off for him. So he's like, you know what? It's nothing against y'all, but I just need to take a break. You know what I mean? From listening to y'all content. And I understood where he was coming from. Like, I'm not saying like, it was right or wrong, but I understand he needed a break because obviously when you watch the clips and it can get a bit overwhelming for both men and women. And I vice versa, I heard women say the same thing. Yo, I'm really starting to hate black men. Black men and they this, that, and the third. They kill us at this rate. There's extremes on both ends. But do y'all feel like social media is just contributing to making us dislike each other more?
Yes,
Why do you think that?
absolutely. I mean, I think that, right now we're in the era of viral clickbait, right? So it's like sometimes the clips that get promoted and boosted are the ones where you see, unfortunately, a woman lashing out or is not the best representation of a black woman. And so, yeah, like that's what's being promoted and that's what people are seeing. And now I think that's where the hate comes along, or, people, that's what it is, I think.
Right, right.
Yeah.
What about y'all?
It creates a bigger gap in between us as far as communication from what I see. And I definitely understand him, but there's nothing in the world that can make me hate black men.
That's how I feel about black
There's
women.
nothing in the world that can make me hate black men.
A lot
I
of
don't
black
love
men
no
don't feel like
other
that.
kind of men.
The other way
You
around.
know,
That's not
so
true.
it's like because
Yes, it is.
I don't judge people based on one person. Like that, it's not black men as a whole. There's so many different kinds of
Right.
black men, and New York has one kind of black man. Spain has black people. Different places have different kinds of black men. So there's no way to lump all of them in one and say, oh, this social media is making me hate this type of person, like this black man or the black men in general. Like for me, as nothing. There's always going to be a good black man somewhere for me, So
I appreciate
I
you
don't-
saying.
Definitely.
I appreciate you saying it, 'cause I feel that way about black women. Like I've been very
Yeah.
vocal on the show about how I'm gonna marry a black woman and I only date black
Yep,
women.
me
Like, you know what I
too.
mean? So they don't see those clips. You know what I mean? They rather just see something about me talking about single mothers and stuff. You know what I mean? I hate my mother or whatever the case is, right? So, Big Bro, I'm sorry, Big Bro. What's your thoughts on this? You think social media is making men and women despise each other?
Honestly, I feel like so I have a lot of female friends that they'll say that they look at a lot of male podcasts that discuss relationships with women, and it seems like we're just always complaining about women and that like we don't have an appreciation of women. But I feel like men are speaking up about what they would appreciate in a woman, and women
We're
don't
taking
like to,
offense
yeah
to
women don't
stuff.
like to hear and take accountability to like those behaviors, so they only want to hear the bad stuff. So if you're listening to the content to hear what what the message is versus just like they're just saying that all black women are nasty. No, it's not about all black women are nasty. It's this certain kind of black woman that is being nasty. You got to listen to the content versus just jump into the conclusion. But of course, like you said, this in social media, they post all of the toxic stuff. So you're gonna see the
Right, 'cause
toxic
that's-
stuff.
Those are the
That's
ones
their
that go
And that's
agenda.
what's
viral.
gonna,
Those are the
go
ones that
viral and
make number.
Exactly.
It's the algorithm.
So that's why it seems that why it's definitely gonna come off that way. But you got to know what's for entertainment and what's just
separate the two.
exactly.
So you don't internalize everything you read or watch.
Yeah. And also too, like I think that we black men and women, when we go on these podcasts or when we have these podcasts, we need to stop speaking it like in generalizations, right? Like you said, when you said certain, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not all men, it's not all women, it's certain men, it's certain women, it's some, and I appreciate that in your language when you're speaking, you're saying some, okay, you acknowledge that there might be a few. That's important. I feel like oftentimes we make these big old generalizations and now, right, our perspective shift.
Yeah, that's true. That's why I always say when women always, we grew up with hearing niggas ain't shit, right? From women, right? It's never some niggas ain't shit or these niggas ain't shit. It's just niggas ain't shit. So that's as broad as you could be. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're not even a particular nigga. Just niggas ain't shit. So of course that encompasses all of us. So of course that's gonna make
That's
I'm gonna
niggas,
get
that's
offended
not
by
men,
that.
though.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, huh?
Huh?
That's niggas. That's not men.
That's
Niggas
the same.
and men is two different things.
No,
Never
come
use-
on.
come
Y'all know
No,
what
it
y'all
is.
get.
Y'all
See,
know y'all
that's just like
It
calling
is.
your man bro. That's the
Oh my
same
God,
shit.
Oh my goodness.
We were
That's
just
the same
men,
shit.
and then there's niggas.
Let's
There's
talk about
men, and there's niggas.
So if a man said, these bitches out here tripping, wouldn't all women feel away?
No, I ain't no bitch. What I'm
Right.
gonna feel away for?
All right, let that.
That's
We
it.
go.
That's
be like,
that's
yo,
a good
bitches
point.
tripping for real.
Y'all bitches out here
Y'all bitches
tripping.
really tripping.
If you
If it don't
listening
apply,
to
you
this,
gotta let
Don't
it
apply,
fly.
let it fly.
Yeah, like I don't
agree.
internalize
But that goes against what she was
anything.
saying.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna get offended.
See?
I gotta be
All right,
honest.
that's
yeah,
what I'm
gonna
saying.
get offended. I will get offended by that language. Yeah, if it's directed towards me.
But it's
Yeah,
not.
no, if it was a
See?
general
If it was
relation,
general,
if a dude just said,
yeah.
"Yo, these
Relation,
bitches is
bitches.
tripping,"
Oh no, I'm not mad at that.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
oh,
not
really?
mad. They
Where they
tripping.
tripping?
Not
Tripping.
me.
Yeah,
Where they
yeah,
at?
it's tripping. Oh no, I thought you meant like if that was the language she was using or whatever to like talk about women.
But when let's say you're not watching the whole show, you see
Yeah.
the clip, a lot of people just feed off of that one thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're
But
not
I
even looking at the whole
also-
message.
I also think people are more emotional now. Like,
Oh,
I feel
hell
like
yeah.
people are more emotional
Yeah,
now.
sensitive,
This is a
sensitive,
platform. They're very sensitive. If it doesn't apply, let it fly, like he said. So when I'm watching these podcasts, I could agree and I could disagree. But do I agree with that person in totality? Hell no. Because some of the shit they saying is like going left.
Over your
like,
head,
It's
right?
going
Right.
over your head. But do I agree with that one thing? Yes. Does that mean I like this person or I like their ideology? Hell no. But I think that people are more sensitive. So this is making it kind of like hard for podcasts to be more liked by certain groups or
It's just
disliked
like with
by
comedy,
certain
like
groups.
you got to be tiptoe around certain types of
That's sad.
conversations. But
Yeah.
if something is gonna be, if you're here to be entertained, and I say something that's kind of left field, but it hits home for you, then it's like you got to know when something is just for the the message and what the value of the message is, and you can't take every little thing to heart, even if it something
people like
might
to
offend you.
practice like selective outrage. Who said that? Where I get that from? Selective outrage. Somebody had a comedy special or something like that. It was
Chris Rock, yeah.
Yeah, Chris Rock. Yeah, people like to practice selective outrage. So of course, it doesn't apply to you, but you feel like you want to react to it or you want to be sensitive to it. It don't apply to you. You just outraged because you feel like I got to be outraged because of social media or whatever. I want to be the first one to be outraged. You know what I mean? So it just I don't know, man. It's just
Everyone
the
has
culture.
an opinion.
Yeah, that's how I feel. And I also think these podcasts, on some of them, they get people so drunk to the point where it's like you saying anything out your ass right now. You don't even know what you're talking about.
But we gotta take accountability.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you
we gotta
nobody
take
putting that cup to your mouth.
I
You
agree.
sipping on that
no,
cup.
I'm not
No,
saying
to
that,
loosen up, you
but I'm
definitely drink a little bit.
But I'm saying
even though
that
I'm sober.
that plays a huge part in how like what we don't see. Like they're drinking before the podcast starts. We don't even know.
Yeah,
And
or they
just
was smoking or whatever, and now they looking crazy on
it. So it's just like it really is really about that person and how you feel. And what
So,
your
but
views are.
okay, what would you advise to the person? Because let's say we was on this show, we gave y'all a drink. We don't know y'all. Y'all asked for a drink.
Right.
Because I'm not even gonna say we gave y'all. Because y'all asked for one, y'all took one, and y'all said some crazy shit. How should we? And now I want it off.
Oh no, we signed.
Oh,
That's
signed
why
that
you make
shit,
people
Yeah,
sign that
but
waiver.
you still get complaints.
Yeah, the outrage is going to be.
no,
I take
Because you
full
based
accountability
off
for
what
my
you say
action.
on the show, you might have offended somebody or it might have came off the wrong way to another group of people.
I think one thing that I really dislike is sometimes women will get mad at us about what other women said out their own mouths willingly. Like, you get what I'm saying? So they feel like we're promoting that or whatever. If a woman says, oh, I can't date a 9-to-5 nigga, da-da-da-da-da, instead of the women holding that woman accountable, yo, why y'all promoting this? I'm like, this is a play. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can't control I don't know what anybody gonna say when they come up here. This ain't scripted. Like, if it was scripted, we'd be a lot more viral, I'll tell you that. But you know what I mean? Like,
I'm sure, right.
People think we be paying
Sure.
people to come on the show. I'm like, nah, honestly, I wish. But, again, if that woman says something, out her mouth, out of her own free will, like, y'all can't be mad at us because of what she said, or maybe she's portraying, y'all got black women that's portraying us in a bad light. Oh, well, y'all need to hold those women accountable. Like, oh, hey, you know what? That's not.
But
the
still
proper
don't do
way.
that.
You know what I mean?
They don't do that part.
Also, too, like some women come up here to go viral, right? Like I think that,
Yeah.
and not just on this podcast, right?
No,
I
in
think
general, I get
women
you.
and men, there's certain things that's coming out their mouths, and it's like, do you really believe that?
Yeah.
Right.
Or are you just saying this because you want to go viral and you know it's clickbait and it's going to get shares and views?
Right,
So
right.
I think that we need to have more morals, right? Like,
Yeah.
and hold ourselves to a high esteem. Like when we come on these podcasts to represent.
Yeah.
But still, you see that young lady or the older woman says that, hold her accountable. Do not defend it or do not say we should take it down. Hold her
So
accountable
you
for
saying
that.
DM her?
No, whichever you prefer. You can say it on the page. You can DM her. Only because I want to say there are young women or young men that's doing the wrong shit and looking at this shit and receiving that message and believing that message. There's still people out here that's gullible and like, oh, word, that's what that's about. So we need people to use their voice to hold each other accountable. If I said some fucking dumb shit, yo, bro, you wilding right now. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with telling me I said something wrong or I stepped over some shit I shouldn't have said. You get what I'm saying?
And it don't even got to be in a disrespectful way, like, yo, like, you, like, or even with a woman, like, y'all ain't got to come at her, like, on her neck crazy, like, yo, bitch, you was wild, like, you, why you even think, like, you can say it in a respectful tone, like, yo, you know what, maybe you should look at it from this angle, or whatever the case is, like, you know what I mean? So, I think that, you know, just to go back, just like you said, everybody wants to go viral, you know what I mean, that instant gratification.
Right,
you know
but
what I
at
mean?
what
So,
cost?
yeah,
At what
that
cost?
is true, man, that is true.
Right?
Yeah. But, you
You
know.
also don't know how that girl's gonna perceive what you telling her about herself. You know, like you said, we strangers, y'all don't know us, right? You go and say, you go share your belief or you comment or DM a female. Like, I don't really agree. Like, why does your opinion matter? Why are you talking to
This
me?
is Instagram.
Right.
Anyway.
Well, yeah, so.
But at the same note, I don't want to hear you defending her. Like, well, that's her business and that's what she want to do and she's okay and she living right. That's still
Is
promote.
that defending her? Or
No,
is that defending her?
That's not
What
holding
you
her
just said.
accountable.
Yeah.
Like,
It's not holding her accountable.
I've seen like slick shit like, oh, I don't see what she doing is wrong.
Just like when we had the woman over here who talking about why Eli, shout out to why Eli. But when she was sleeping with a married man and didn't feel like that was an issue or that wasn't her problem. There was a lot of women, you know what I mean, in that comment section agreeing. She's right. That's not her problem. And obviously, you know that's morally wrong. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, I understand people, you know, I get it. Like, you know, that is, you know, her obligation. But at the same time, you don't have to defend it. You be like, you know what? Listen, I don't think that's right. You know what I mean? Like, that, I can understand that's your life, but ultimately, like, you know what? You should have some more different morals or whatever the case is, or look at it from this angle. You know what I mean? Those are some simple, like, you know, critiques that you could give somebody without feeling like, yo, they trying to tell me what to do. Like, fuck out of here. Like, you know what I mean?
But you're saying over Instagram, you feel like women should hold each other?
Yeah.
Because also, too, the tone, right? You're not able to
know.
Right. In a text, even text messages, things get misconstrued, right? How are you going to, like you said, anything you say, I mean, I guess maybe you add some emojis, but even then, it's like, that could be sarcasm. You add a smiley face.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's hard to, you know,
But in
I
that
could get
same
on
note,
a little audio with you.
y'all could definitely let a man know when he doing some fucked up shit. So why can't be the same thing for a woman?
Well, the stuff that we have to deal with within our own community as well. Like we just said, you don't know how that girl is going to perceive your comment. Girls they're hot-headed. These young girls, they're hot-headed these days. It's beef on site. I'm gonna see her. I'm gonna smack her in the club because she said something on Instagram that I didn't like, and she said something.
It's interesting because y'all perfectly y'all understand how hard it is to hold some women accountable, right? So imagine the pushback men get when we talk about, you know, the preferences that we prefer in women. Imagine like the pushback we give. Y'all can't even hold some women accountable.
Y'all walking on eggshells.
Like, you know what I'm saying? We definitely can't hold women accountable. So, you know, even vice versa with men, like men can't be held accountable, whatever the case is. Like, how can people be held accountable if you feel like you got to walk on eggshells or they're not going to listen to you or you're not going to say, like, you know what I mean? It's like a slippery slope almost. Like,
I feel like that's why when I'm blunt, y'all find me to be an asshole, but sometimes it's not about feelings, which is where I was getting with the comedy thing. Like, the message has to be said, whether you're like, it's going to hurt your feelings or not.